to you the President of the United States.
An honor. Speaker John.
Yeah, I have to. I have to.
President
It's my job. No, not playing video games today. I am watching this godforsaken spectacle.
United States. Members of Congress stronger than ever before. Now our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark two and a half centuries of liberty and triumph. Progress, and we're going to do better and better and better. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America. When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos. Tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages.
Democratic side.
Go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today our border is secure, and our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked as ever before. In which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted, and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
Right? If they're illegal immigrants, then by definition you wouldn't know. But right? If they're illegal immigrants, then by definition you wouldn't know.
We
But
will always allow people to come in legal, work hard.
but thank you. Hillary was a.
Our border is down by a record 50. Our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year. Last year, the murder rate saw its single largest recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, substantially before my wonderful father. I had a wonderful born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country.
Worst inflation in the history of country, not true. Country, not true. I mean sense here.
1.7%.
saw bigotry of low expectations and saying that this was a great speech from him.
Under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster. It is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline. The annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. Took office. 1 year. And at the same time protecting the values of, want to protect those values, we want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock market has set, think of that, 1 year. Americans are all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last $1 billion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
It's interesting observing this. It's all just made up numbers.
Much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than 18.
Like, those investments are phantom. Like, there's no evidence of them whatsoever. Mortgage interest rates, I think, were at 6%, which is like lower than they've been, but still like relative highs.
The hottest country anywhere in the world. The hottest. As thousands of new businesses are forming in factories, plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil.
Looking it up, the average cost of gasoline in the U.S. right now is $2.95 a gallon.
More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. More working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector. We ended DEI in America. We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps. And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know about it. People are asking me, please, Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just...
All right, now we're getting to what I was looking to open for. Just
You're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win big.
the weird performance. Look at J.D. Vance with his dumb face in the background.
With us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. the men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
Well, yeah, the stream is fucked, but this is my job. I have to watch this, so I'm making you guys watch it with me.
Go ahead. That's the first time I've ever seen them did get up. But maybe they
No, I saw that bizarre Thomas opinion that if the mail carrier discriminates against you because you're black, you have no remedy for dealing against, he thinks he's bad.
They were in the Oval Office before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations.
Quality as fucked. I don't know what that's
I
about.
have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. They weren't about to say no, because I've never seen...
Yeah, I'm keeping the audio low because I just assume you guys don't want to hear him.
Six shots on goal, and I asked him, one shot, put your stick in the back, and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. You practiced that, or was that a little lucky?
I don't know why the feet is stuttering, though.
Answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this vote was more important. I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given, and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12. It's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yes.
Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best, and I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no, and every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you all. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much. I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version.
Oh, he's not going to get a bump in the polls whatsoever. There will be no bump in the polls. Generally speaking, you have to have like an exceptional State of the Union to really matter for the polls. But I would be, I mean, he's trending downwards, and people are responding to actual conditions, not like rhetoric. So.
And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country. This year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in the first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place. And now I got them because I got the Olympics, I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news. So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II. Serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur, he fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila.
All the Dems are not there. And thank you. I'm glad you liked my takes. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing with the page. Right now, it seems to be like anything that's too long for YouTube short becomes just a regular YouTube video. But we'll see. I have been brainstorming a video on the history of Reconstruction, so stay tuned for that. That'll be happening at some point.
2026 is 100th birthday.
I don't know what the deal is with the buffering issues. I've been... and the audio is cutting out. I don't know what's happening.
So, buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, practically claiming many.
Right, audio is cutting out for you guys. It's stuttering. I'm just like closing everything that isn't the browser and Streamlabs here. I got nothing else running.
Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission. Young guy, very brave, very, very top, always top in his class, and he lifted not just Billy Kate, but 164 others to safety.
Yeah, no, it's the stream itself. The stream itself is not doing well, but I don't know what that could be because it's looking over here at activity monitor. I'm running the streaming through the browser. Yeah, I'm running it through browser, and it's I'm doing a window capture.
The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something. Tonight, Scott and Billy Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you.
I'm not on YouTube. I'm watching this via C-SPAN.
And Petty Officer Rustin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you. I'd like to have the military aid to please come down.
It's interesting. There, other than the initial bit of fake numbers about how great everything is going, there's no discussion anywhere of policy or anything. This is just spectacle.
Today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans. All Democrats, every single one of them voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great citizens.
And none of those taxes really add up much. It's just a big upper income tax cut. You guys know that, which was thing.
And we also made interest on auto loans tax deductible the first time, but only
Tax deductible is really one of the worst ideas I've ever heard.
Recently in Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom whose homeschools her children, beautiful two children, during the day while waiting tables at night, as her husband works overtime, operating very heavy equipment. Megan, this evening, she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer.
I don't know if it's Southern Hampshire it is, but it's always funny to me how Trump cannot read from a teleprompter. He's terrible at it. He's unable to do it.
Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just to hear cutting her tax bill in more than half. We're fighting for you. Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate the children's brand new Trump accounts. I did that. Nobody believes I did not. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and is taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be refunded to the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6 billion, $250 million to flood Trump accounts for 5 million Americans.
Have to. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see what we can do there.
I really thank him, Susan, as well as others like Red Young people's accounts could grow to $100,000 more by the time they turn 18. Think of it, how much money it started with nothing.
Stream. I mean, I'm not me. I'm going to kill the hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly. You all know stream
that.
is chopped.
Everybody
Also,
knows it.
I don't know. I can't help you guys. I do not know why. Well, here we are. Good night. Hey, look who it is. Well, might have been the C-SPAN site itself. Well, I still gotta, of course, watch this for work, so I'm still gonna have it on.
And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are done.
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. 5 years of gig speed internet at a rate that won't change.
Switch to Comcast Business and lock in a great rate for 5 years on a qualifying internet bundle. Or ask how to get a $500 prepaid card. Call today.
Replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
Well, at the moment, Trump is promising to turn the tariffs into a replacement for the income tax, which is ludicrous.
Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a president who puts America first. I put America first. I love America.
Yeah, you can just hear the audio now. No video.
We had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy.
But this
to
is even weirder
immigration.
since you can't really see the
Everything
video.
was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,880.
So one of my things is that I don't think Trump understands what asylum is. He's always saying people are coming from mental institutions, and I think that's what it means to him.
$34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly used the word affordability, a word. They just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
It wasn't hitting my CPU too hard because I have an activity monitor running right now, and basically that entire time, like most of the CPU usage was like totally idle, nothing going on.
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created
I do have
high
gigabit
prices.
internet. I'm on
Policies are
a
rapidly
fiber line,
ending them. We
and I
are
got my
doing
M4
really well.
Mac Mini
Those
running here,
prices
which
are
is a nice little
plummeting
powerful
downward.
machine.
The price of eggs is down 60%. Madam Secretary, thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high,
Like
is
I'm
starting to
getting
come
right
down
now,
significantly.
my
This will run a
download
little
speed
while.
is
We're getting it down. And soon you will see
let's
numbers
see,
that few
it's
people
about this. That's about
would think
240
were possible to
megabits
achieve
down.
just a short time ago. Nobody can
And,
believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy going
about
down
that
to
about
numbers
that
like
about
they
that
cannot
amount
believe
up.
it. It's like another
Actually, about
big
300 megabits
tax
up.
cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing cost of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies.
What
not for the
percentage
people.
of
With our government giving them
Trump take
hundreds and
bandwidth?
hundreds of
What
billions of
percentage?
dollars a year as their stock prices soared
What
1,000,
percentage
1,200,
of
1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else.
White House decisions are made by Trump? I would be shocked. I mean, I think he basically spent all of his time worrying about his ballroom and like being on TV, and otherwise has deferred most of decision making down the line to Stephen Miller and Russ Vogt and Hegseth and RFK Jr. and whomever.
In addition, my plan requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big. And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately
So, you know,
terminated
it's
it
just the audio
with
right
full
now.
knowledge that they were
And
doing a very
they
bad
keep
thing for
the
people.
video
Costs
keeps
are gonna go
flashing
way up,
to
and that's what
JD
happened.
Vance,
Now
and I
I'm
gotta
bringing
say,
it
I
way
hate
down
that
on
guy's
healthcare and
face so
everything else.
much.
I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before.
Unicorn on the Cob, I intend to do long form history content. It just takes time, right? It's sort of a bit of a time sink. But I think this Friday, really this Friday, I think I'm going to try to record a long video on Reconstruction, trying to give like a nice, reasonably detailed overview. The big problem in trying to do an overview of Reconstruction is that it's like it's a very it's not one single thing throughout the entire South, and so I got to figure out a way to talk about it that is both coherent but also doesn't cause the misimpression that it's one thing
the
throughout.
lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere, the lowest price.
Republicans do not actually act like they don't need to worry about winning elections anymore. Republicans are acting very much like they're worried about winning elections. That's why a ton of them are retiring. It's why Senate Republicans are really reluctant to do anything on the SAVE Act, because they think it's gonna backfire on them.
I took prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world.
They're still trying to fundraise like crazy.
The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more, all available right now at a new website called TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that one either, by the way. And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big, Catherine Rayner. For 5 years, she and her husband have struggled with infertility, and they turned to IVF. One drug has been costing Catherine $4,000 to purchase. But a few weeks ago, she logged onto the Trump RX website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500.
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. Like Mike Johnson said today or yesterday that he has no intention of bringing a tariff bill to the floor, and it's because it's unpopular. Like, they are worried about losing elections. They've already kind of resigned themselves to losing the House, and they are very worried about losing the Senate. IVF, not IDF.
So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing, I'm not sure it matters because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%. But John and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it. Codify it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their
One thing, so, this is on my end, but I am streaming obviously Twitch and YouTube. And I gotta be honest, I was not anticipating so many of you on YouTube. But then I guess I forget that my YouTube page has grown quite a bit over the last couple months. So it's good to see a bunch of you over here at the YouTube on the stream.
I'm telling them they can build their own plant, they can produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity while at the same time lowering prices of electricity for you, and could be very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some good things happen over the next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream that has been under attack is homeownership. With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of two from Houston. She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes.
An interesting thing, so worth saying that the proximate reason for housing shortages is that there isn't enough housing being built, and investment firms are kind of a drop in the bucket relative to everything. But also, I need to check out this executive order because it's actually not clear to me whatsoever. What agency? Okay, how do I put this? What agency would he be directing to? Because there's no federal agency, as far as I know, that has control or can block the sale of homes in municipalities.
They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Since I took office, the typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. That's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records, your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these oft-forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress.
That's right. I think it's funny. It's fun. It's very funny that we have a Republican president who wants nothing more than to have a command economy, to be able to sort of his conceptualization of the economy as being a boss at his personally held firm.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
Oh, yeah, they've almost certainly pumped him full of amphetamines.
I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer.
This is, I mean, okay. This is so disgusting. It's like, first of all, this dude sued the government. I mean, he's like trying to collect $10 billion from the government right now.
This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President J.D. Vance. He'll get it done. And if we're able to find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah.
I mean, this is just, this is just, this is just unadulterated racism, unadulterated gutter racism, and the idea. I mean, where did we import Trump from? Right, like Trump is the definition of rampant corruption.
The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up.
And just for like the numbers about some the fraud scandal in Minnesota is done about $19 billion, and it wasn't just Somali; it was a handful of Somalis, and then a bunch of native-born Minnesotans.
That's why tonight I'm
and the entire national debt, yeah. Somalis are responsible for hundreds and hundreds of billions in debt. It's just, it's nonsense, and it's. I don't know. It's the kind of invective that like gets people killed.
And yesterday, as you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into
The
our
C-SPAN
country, how we allowed
feed
this to
just
happen with open
panned
borders.
over to Sean
These are
Duffy,
the angel
and
moms
he's wearing
and families
a
that for
peak,
decades
like a
our
single-breasted
government
peak lapel
betrayed
jacket.
and our
And
media
I think
totally ignored,
let me
totally
this let me switch gears for a second.
Hard to
I
believe,
think
actually.
peak lapels on
In
a
2023, a
single-breasted jacket
16-year-old
look
high
bad.
school
It's
cheerleader
like, make a
named
decision. What are you? Are you
Elizabeth
business jacket or are you dinner
Medina
coat? If you're a
was
dinner
supposed to
coat,
perform in the
double-breasted,
town's
baby.
Christmas parade, but she never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times. Lizbeth's killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you. We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you. As we speak,
In general, it's actually quite
Democrats in
shocking
this
how few
chamber
Congress people know how to
have
dress
cut off
themselves.
all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown. The first one
Trump was
costing us
president
2
for 4
points
years, and one of the things that
on
remains
GDP.
quite baffling to
2
me
points we
about the
lost on
2024
GDP,
election
which probably
is
made them
how
quite happy.
everyone engaged in this fantasy. And when I
Now
say
they have
everyone, I mean the
closed
press.
the agency
I mean,
responsible for protecting
political
Americans from
commentators across the
terrorists and
spectrum.
murderers.
Everyone engaged in
Tonight
this
I'm
weird
demanding
fantasy
the full
that
and
Trump
immediate
had not been president
restoration of
before,
all
and thus we
funding
can't really
for
know
the
what he
border
might do.
security,
It
Homeland
drove me
Security
crazy.
of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice. We'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Yeah, not a single Democrat should have gone to the State of the Union because of shit like this. No, if a Democratic president had illegal tariffs that were struck down by the Supreme Court and then refused to pay a refund to the American people, they would have executed him. Yeah, a bunch of Dems. I would say most of the Dem caucus is at the State of the Union. I mean, if I had my way, you would unravel DHS, make FEMA its own agency, and elevate it to being a cabinet level agency. Who's this dude wearing tweed? Sorry, I'm looking at the feed. There's someone wearing a tweed, like a really nice tweed suit, complete with the leather buttons and everything. I mean, it looks like he sucks.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself.
But it's a good suit.
Not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
I mean, it's so... Not a single Democrat should have been there. But with that stipulating, the people interrupting, it's Ilhan Omar, shout out to, and Rashida Tlaib. But the thing about this is that Trump makes no pretense to representing people who didn't vote for him. Makes no pretense to speaking to any American who didn't vote for him. He views Americans who didn't vote for him and their representatives as akin to traitors.
It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
The speech is quiet on purpose.
All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None. And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89%. And even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot.
For the record, voter ID does not... I mean, the idea of a voter ID polls very high with Americans, but the details of something like the SAVE Act are actually very unpopular. No one wants to have to show citizenship to cast a ballot.
And a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good.
That's really interesting. He says they don't want identification for the greatest privilege at all, of all. Voting isn't a privilege.
We just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens. The reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things. You almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated. And their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John. And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland. A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did
What
not
is happening
immediately
here?
state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full-ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up. And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy. Amazing. Incredible. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it.
I just went to go look up this story, and it's like a sad story of a young person who was bullied and tormented, but like that's the extent of the truthfulness
there. No one
there.
cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady, now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that? Over the past year, she has had an incredible impact championing AI legislation, advancing a landmark executive order on foster care, and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot. Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont. Thank you both, and Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much. I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal.
I'm still stuck on the stuff about voting. You know, core to Trump's populist vision is the idea that the people of America, or rather the people as he understands them, the MAGA people, it's not coterminous with the actual population of the U.S. or even the citizenry of the United States. Only some people count as the people, and the rest do not. And it's very much Trump's view that voting for Democrats or Democrats winning is almost fraud by definition, because Democrats don't count as the people. And I really think you should look at the SAVE Act as this attempt to kind of remove those deemed not the people from the actual electorate.
Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind.
Yeah, he sounds more energetic now that like he can indulge just like the most rank bigotry imaginable.
And we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zarutska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina, fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up.
It's really shocking.
In the last seconds of her life, she died.
And it's gonna get. I think it's gonna get kind of.
She had escaped a brutal war.
The press is gonna treat this as if it's nothing, but it's really shocking how much the president is sharing these lurid tales about some of the worst stuff that happens to people, not because he really gives a shit, but as a pure partisan power play.
How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there.
Yeah, that's exactly it, rage baiting. Don't be surprised if I steal the rage baiting characterization for the video I have to do for the New York Times.
To restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success, New Orleans, Louisiana, big success, and our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen? In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago. They don't like to hear that. one of sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. After a 4-month deployment, she voluntarily extended her service, and her rank was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation, she was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged, shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital, and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents.
You
Gary
missed
and
that this became, like at the 1 hour mark,
your
basically a
daughter was
Klan
a
rally.
True American patriot, and she will be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her. They've never seen anything like her. So sorry. Thank you very much. A great young lady. I saw reports that were like, perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody, who I spoke to the same night, and she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone, but his mother said, no, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said, sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying, and after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melody? She turned out to be right. Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death, on his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the other thing is that, I mean, someone mentioned that this is all nicely about the cost of living and everything, and it is striking how so much of this is just totally unresponsive to what people care about. And I mean, it's just him like introducing people that he likes.
To ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late great President George Washington himself. It's called
I mean, this is just this is less a State of the Union which is really, again, supposed to be a report on where the country is. And as I said in the video I posted today, I really do not like this conceit of the presidential speech, because it makes it much more regal than the actual ceremony is or supposed to be. But this is less even the State of the Union and more just sort of like the king bestowing gifts upon his loyal supporters. Like, it isn't really about the country at all.
We love you all. Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger. My first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia.
Ended 8 wars. Another nonsense number. I do appreciate the C-SPAN camera person zooming in on Marco Rubio, who looks at all times like his soul has been sucked directly out of his body. Just a hollow shell of a man, believes nothing, will do anything.
Israel and Iran,
Little Marco.
Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared.
Cameras on Jared Kushner now, who looks like a haunted Victorian doll. Another incredible grifter.
And I also want to thank the man they report to, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco.
Trump just praised Marco Rubio, and I'm sure that's the closest thing Rubio will get to feeling an emotion for the rest of the year.
You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way, right, Marco? You have done a great job, great Secretary of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever.
Yeah, Tim Scott just showed up in the frame. Man, don't get me started on Tim Scott. I think the words I would use to describe Tim Scott would get me in trouble, so I can't say them, even on stream. Even on stream, that I'm reasonably certain that no one who employs me will watch. But the things I would say to describe Tim Scott, can't say. If you ever meet me in person, ask me about it.
Nobody thought it was possible. Nobody thought that was possible. Both living and dead. And those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. That was an amazing period of time. And they came back, and when we got all of the living hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said,
have you ever seen that GIF of not Tim Scott, the GIF of Daffy Duck tap dancing? That's what comes into my mind every time I think about Tim Scott.
Worked along with Israel, and they dug and they dug and they dug. It's a tough thing to do. Going through bodies all over, passing up 100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found. Tough job. And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the...
You know, I have to like both write a quick thing for the Times giving my assessment of the State of the Union, and I need to record a video, and I am thinking about what I'm going to say for this video, because I do think the way to approach it is to say that this speech in its back half was rage bait, and it's rage bait in, I'd say, three ways. The first is the blatant racism, the really shocking racism directed at entire communities of Americans. The second is the attempts to cast Democrats as un-American, disloyal, not really legitimate members of the political community. Both with the spectacle, but also the whole thing with the Save Act. And I suppose the third thing is really emphasizing the lurid violence that he seems to really relish in, describing horrible events that are happening to real people and treating them as little more than ways to score some partisan points. It's like designed to make people mad, and it's designed to divide and separate and fracture the society. And the thing, maybe I'll say this too. I mean, the thing that really stands out. Maybe I'll save this for my own page. But the thing that does really stand out beyond all of that is the Republican Party clapping for every bit of it.
Since they seized control
This
of that proud nation 47 years
people
ago,
sometimes
the
criticize
regime
me
and its murderous proxies
for not criticizing
spread
Democrats
nothing
more
but
often.
terrorism,
But it's not
death,
because I don't
and
have
hate.
criticism for Democrats.
They've
It's because
killed
I
and
really,
maimed
truly
thousands of
think that
American service
and I have
members
thought
and
this for like a long
hundreds of
time,
thousands and
that
even
the
millions of people
number one political
with
goal
what's
is
called
keeping
roadside
Republicans
bombs.
from
They
winning
were
power.
the kings of
I don't
the
think people hate the Republican Party
roadside
enough.
bomb.
And
When
I
we took
think
out
the
Soleimani,
extent to
I
which
did
people
that
treat the
during my
Republican
first
Party
term
like
at a huge
a force of
impact.
nature, like a
He was the
hurricane,
father
that
of the
there's
roadside
no
bomb.
use doing anything about it, helps them win power and destroy this country.
And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like, 32,000 protests. 32,000
I don't think anyone in the
protesters their own
GOP
country.
believes anything real.
They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious
I suppose
violence. This
I'll
is
want to do a video or something about the
some
whole
terrible people.
voting is a privilege
They've
language.
already developed missiles that can
That's probably
threaten
worth
Europe and our
commenting on.
bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue, starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again, and are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never.
An example of
a
how
nuclear weapon.
the Democrats just
My
don't have a killer
preference.
instinct, though, is that I was just looking at this. Of the 1,200 people Trump pardoned, Jan 6 defendants, like 33 have been convicted of crimes, including like violence and child abuse. And if I were a Democratic consultant, I'd be
preference is to
cutting
solve this
ads
problem through
basically to run like
diplomacy.
prime time
But one thing is
that
certain, I will
Trump
never allow the
pardoned
world's number one sponsor of terror,
child
which
sex
they are by
abusers,
far,
and Trump may in
to have a
fact
nuclear
be
weapon.
a
Can't
child
let that
sex
happen.
abuser. Ugh. Oh, thank you. You're not derailing the stream. Thank you very much.
And no nation should ever doubt America's resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue to do so. Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong, because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called peace through strength, and it's been very, very effective. So thanks to Republican in Congress, we're investing that record number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our country. And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed.
The C-SPAN camera's on Lindsey Graham now, who looks like Prince Andrew in the back of that car.
GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they
I wish I had a
paying. We
screenshot
were
of that.
paying
He looks
almost
exactly
all of
like
that.
Prince Andrew sitting in the back of
Now
that
they're
car.
paying 5 as opposed to not paying 2. And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily with one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting. And every service member recently.
Oh, well, you know, I was doing stuff today, so I had to get dressed as normal, and I just haven't bothered changing clothes. It's also a little cold in my house, and this is a very warm sport coat.
You know, they put it on my desk. We got the money from tariffs and other things, a lot of money we have. We have much more money than people understand. Have to rebuild that program a little bit, but it won't take long. But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute, for one more dollar, we can have $1,776. It's going to... I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. One more dollar. I said, $1,776. And I said, that's good. And I'll tell you what, our military, that was 4 months ago, our military, I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it, so we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And we call it 1776. It was great. And we love our military.
We got the camera panned on Kristi Noem, noted puppy killer. Really deranged woman. And I've not really seen her close up like that. Her face really is plastic. That whole look I find bizarre. I find very strange. He's been going for an hour and 40 minutes.
Acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference for years. Large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by
if someone told me that if someone were to tell me that Kristi Noem doesn't understand that other people exist, that would check out to me.
Illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
I saw that picture of Bezos and Sanchez too, and I was like saying to my wife that just like I don't get it. I don't get it.
We very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January.
But like, I mean, I get the whole like he's a nerd and she's the girl who couldn't get part of it. But like the whole like, have you seen pictures of Sanchez pre-surgery? She's a beautiful woman, and I just don't understand the desire to get that surgery to make you look like, you know, a doll almost. It's weird.
In world history, no one's seen anything like it.
I need to comment: the boat strikes are just murder. Straightforwardly, like there's no evidence that anyone on those boats is trafficking drugs, and if they were, that's not deserving of execution.
Look at Space Force. Space Force is my baby.
Yeah, it seems like some kind of conspicuous consumption. And over at the YouTube, someone mentioned Noam and Corey Lewandowski booking. I mean, Trump is going on about corruption, but you want to hear talk about corruption? How about Christy Noam's fuck plane that her and Corey Lewandowski use?
And America's armed forces overwhelmed all defenses and utterly defeated an enemy, good fighters, to end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice.
All right, we're back. They flashed over to Elizabeth Warren, and then this like cameraman popped up, this black guy, and he has like a high top fade from like 1993. He's like dressed like he's about to go to a New Jack Swing concert, and I want to talk to that guy. He's like a photographer, but I want more of him. That's fascinating.
Extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries, and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her
why
brother,
is Liz Warren there? She
Uncle
should know
Enrique.
better.
But
None of
after
them should
Enrique
be there.
Ran for office and opposed Maduro. He was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's
At first glance, it
really
looks in
infamous
between
prison
kid
in
and play.
Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political
But more
prisoners
play
already.
than kid in terms
With
of
more
hair,
to
I'd say.
come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down.
I don't. So I'll be honest. I have no idea what's happening right now. Who's Enrique? I find all of this spotlighting people like this to be so distasteful. I mean, he's very much treating it as a big show, and it's like his grand generosity as national father.
Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique.
Did my Twitch crash?
There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro. Really great heroes. It was very
I don't think it
dangerous.
did.
They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter. A big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good. While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was
One video I think I
gushing
might
blood,
make,
which
one
was
argument I
flowing
might
back
make in
down the
writing,
aisle,
though, is that the
helicopter
display
landed
of
his seatbelt.
contempt that Trump and Republicans have shown for
Machine gun stood
Democrats
right in
during
front
this
of him. They were right in
should
front of him,
really
the machine gunner.
show Democrats that this is what I
Escaped
mean.
the
In the
wrath
words
of
of
the
Ice
previous
Cube,
planes.
in the words of Ice Cube,
Eric
in
maneuvered
his
helicopter with all of those
in the
lives
track
and
True to the
souls,
Game,
faced the enemy and lived.
here's
His
what they
gunners
think about you.
eliminated the threat, turned the helicopter
Here's what they
around
think
so the
about you.
gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission, we probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs.
I cannot believe I'm still
Of the
watching
bullets,
this.
and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife Amy.
Yeah, Cube.
Eric,
I mean, it's Cube
and
is a
Amy,
Trump
come
stand
on in.
because he's a misogynist. This is a. You show me a misogynist, I'll show you someone who loves Trump. It's very straightforward. You're a misogynist. You're someone who like worships like patriarchal authority. This is why Killer Mike always like hesitates not to oppose Republicans. This was true in the 2024 election where Killer Mike was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to vote. It was true at the Georgia gubernatorial elections. Like, it's just misogyny.
So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga.
Thank you,
to
Connor. I
present
really
Chief
appreciate that.
Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
I think handing out Medal of Honors at the State of the Union is distasteful. My understanding is that the Medal of Honor is usually the service itself makes its determination, and I'd be interested to know if the service made the determination or if Trump insisted on it because he thinks it makes him look good. Probably the latter. And yeah. No, there is not a history of handing out awards like this to the State of the Union and explicitly politicizing the military. I want to do a Metal Gear Solid playthrough, but
Well, thank you very
last time I
much,
tried to do Metal
Eric
Gear
and
Solid 2 on
Amy.
here, it just wasn't working quite well.
Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg, we have it back, we brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. Everybody wanted to change back too. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from that incredible night of victory will also be receiving medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House. And Eric will be there. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. That's a big one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor before we go. He is one more heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions. In the skies over Korea in 1952, Royce was in the dogfight of a lifetime, legendary dogfight. Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7 Soviet fighter planes. It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned, Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
Trump really is handing out these Medal of Honors like they are cheap props.
Thank you, Royce, and thank you, Eric. I've always wanted the Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed I'm not allowed to give it to myself, and I wouldn't know why I'd be taking it, but if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday. But you know, that's our highest honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's a big thing, and it's an honor to be in the same room with you. Thank you both very much, Eric. Thank you. Thank you. 250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. 2 of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath. Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together we mastered the world's mightiest industries, shattered history's monstrous tyrannies, and we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel, and then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the planet with American culture. And now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim. For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
All right, it's over. Not quite 2 hours. I bet you they all bet on whether it was going to be 2 hours or not, and they just made some money. Not quite 2 hours. This was exhausting. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to head out here. I got to now do some writing and some video recording. What a fucking waste of time. Next time I stream, I will either be playing Secret of Mana or finishing up Chrono Trigger. Or maybe I will boot up Metal Gear Solid. We'll see. But next time I stream, it'll be playing video games and not this. I'll see you guys next time.